Hello my loves, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing another what I am reading in this season, and we are currently in winter 2023. So I thought it'd just be fun to share what I'm reading. I love watching these videos. I'm pretty nosy, to be honest, so I like to see what people are reading in their lives, but they also connect to so many of the things that I talk about on here. So I thought it'd be useful to share what I'm reading this winter, what I'm loving, and what I'm excited to read. So go ahead and grab your coffee, grab your tea, whatever you are drinking, get cozy with me. You can see I'm in my cute little hanging chair in my loft, and let's talk about what I'm reading this winter. So the first book that I read, and I've actually already finished, is The Rules of Magic by Alice Hoffman. Now, who else out there, especially my 90 kids, loves practical magic? I've always loved that movie. I'm a big Halloween girl, if you didn't know already, and that movie speaks to me and resonates on a level I can't really explain. And then I posted on Instagram that I was watching it, and my friend was like, you know those are books, right? And I was like, no, why does no one talk about that? Or how did I not know that? There are 2 books, and there's actually a prequel. This is all about the ants and their backstory. So I don't know about you guys, but the ants is the best part of that whole movie. I love their demeanor and how fun they are, especially when they're making the margaritas. I want to be the ants. So this kind of gives their backstory of why they are the way they are. Highly recommend. I've also been trying to read more fiction, incorporate more fiction, not just like spiritual, nonfiction, self-help category. I mean, I love those books too. That's how I've learned so many of these things, and those are really aligning for me to read, but I also love a good fun book, and this one's super witchy, and I'm all about that in this season of my life. So highly recommend The Rules of Magic. It's also set in the 1960s, so I think that's a really fun era to explore as well. The next book that I'm currently reading is The Power of Fun, How to Feel Alive Again by Catherine Price. So this is a book I found at the library. I love to go to the library and just see what speaks to me. And this was one. I was like, yes, I need more fun. I need more joy. My internal guidance, my intuition is always telling me, have more fun, enjoy yourself, stop taking life so seriously. And this book has really been a good one. I'm about halfway through, you can see right now. What was interesting, and this is just the synchronicity of the universe, is a big portion of this book talks about not being on our phone so much, or how addicted to our phones we really are, and social media. And I've been feeling nudged to take a social media break for a long time. So this was divine timing between reading this and feeling that nudge. I haven't been on social media like Instagram and Facebook and TikTok for the past 3 weeks, and it's felt so good. I'm doing a whole podcast episode on my social media detox. I'll make sure to link that in the description if you're interested in my revelations from that. But I highly recommend this book. She goes into like the science of why it's so important to have fun and the research behind it. She really does her due diligence here, and I really appreciate that. And honestly, we do. We need to prioritize fun. And she talks about true fun and how we can sometimes mistake that for fake fun, like scrolling on your phone or binge watching a show, which sometimes is our aligning. But I just really like her message here. So highly recommend The Power of Fun. Now this next book I am also currently reading, and you may be wondering, Lindsay, how do you have time to read all these books? You are a new mom, you have a full-time job, a podcast, all the things. I read before I go to bed, and I read when I'm pumping. So those are 2 times where I'm not scrolling on my phone anymore, and I'm doing something intentional that feeds my soul and feels so good and so aligning. So the next book that I've been reading, especially when I'm pumping, is just a short and sweet little book. I'm almost done with it actually, called A Little Bit of Chakras. Now I'm not sure if it's chakras or chakras. If you know, or if you have an opinion on this, please let me know in the comments, because I want to make sure I'm saying it correctly. But it's an introduction to energy healing by Amy Lee and Chad McCree. I love short and sweet books like this, and I've been really interested about the chakras, and I want to do some yoga flows based on each of the 7 chakras. And what's interesting is they really go into the history behind the chakra system, and there's so much more to it, like depending on which philosophy and which belief and which area you are diving into. Some people believe there are many, many more than the 7 chakras. So it kind of goes into the history of that. I won't go too much into it, but it really focuses on the 7 main chakras that we learn in the New Age field now. So it's really interesting. They give meditations, activities to help you connect with each of the chakras, to help you clear them and really embody them as much as you can. And it's just cool to learn how we can leverage these different energy centers within our body. So I'm really excited to keep diving into this. I might get another book on chakras now that I've dipped my toe in the pond of chakras. Now this next book is not going to surprise you at all. You guys know I've been really into astrology. I'm diving into my astrological chart. I saw this at the library and I had to get it, which by the way, that last book literally fell off the shelf. So I took that as a sign that I needed to read it, the chakra book. But that's what I do. I go to the library and I just use my internal guidance to help me pick books. This was another one that was really speaking to me. I love the name. It's called The House Your Stars Built, a guide to the 12 astrological houses and your place in the universe. So what I love about this book, you can see I'm just partially through it. I love to read multiple books at once. That's just my jam right now. It's like a workbook almost. I just love the way it's designed. They've got a lot of diagrams and images to really help you understand the complexity of astrology, because there's so much to it. It really is a rabbit hole. So she does a really good job of explaining this. This book is by Rachel Stewart Haas. So I will leave a little picture of it in the corner if you want to check it out. Highly recommend if you're into astrology. Now this next one I've just barely started, but I had to include it because it has a really cool story to go along with it. So if you've heard of the holistic psychologist on Instagram, she's super popular, has millions and millions of followers. She lives in Scottsdale, so that's really close to me. And she had a book signing and my friend loves her and follows her. I follow her too, and she shares a lot of great content that has to do with the things that I share on my platform. But she just released a workbook. It's called How to Meet Yourself, the workbook for self-discovery by Dr. Nicole LaPera. So that's her actual name. She's the holistic psychologist on Instagram. And I'm already loving this because I talk about this on the podcast all the time. It's easy to talk about how simple these habits are, but to implement them and embody them is a totally different thing. So I love that this is interactive. It's really beautifully designed. It also smells so good. Does anyone else love the smell of books, or is that just me? I've always loved the smell. I used to just grab magazines and books when I was little and smell them. Maybe that's weird to share, but that's Lindsay for you. So it smells good. It's beautiful. I'm really excited to dive in it. I've just barely scratched the surface. So that's why I call this a video what I'm reading, because some of these books I haven't even touched yet. But this one I'm partially through. I even might do a little book club with my friends. A group of us went to go get it signed at Barnes & Noble, so I got to meet her, which was really cool. And we're thinking about doing a little book club and meeting up and discussing some of these things. So I encourage you to do that if you haven't already with any of these books or any book that you're reading. It's so fun to go through this process with other people and have community around it. And that reminds me of my fun book. That's a key component of having fun, is being around other people and sharing that with other people. So good reminder. Now the last two I want to share, I haven't even opened yet, but I'm really excited. And they're vastly different. Well, not that different, but kind of different topics. Same theme, different topics. Now, as you guys know, I had my son in July. He is a little over 6 months now, which is crazy. So I've been wanting to read more parenting books, because with the work that I do and the things that I share, I'm just super aware of parenting and the parenting styles and how what we do at this young age really affects their subconscious. So I just want to be really intentional with that. I'm trying not to be a perfectionist about it and have anxiety about it, because I'm human and I know I'm going to mess up, but I want to do the best that I can. So I saw this book at the library. It's called Very Intentional Parenting, Awakening the Empowered Parent Within. Totally sounds like my vibe, by Destiny Ann Davis. So I haven't even cracked this open yet, but I've just skimmed through it. The topics look very aligning with the things that I talk about on here. So I'll let you guys know what I think about this. And then the last one just looked really fun. Again, just popped out at me at the library. I was like, I have to read this. The Untamed Witch. Reclaim your instincts, rewild your craft, create your most powerful magic. Guys, just the witchiness and the magical stuff is really speaking to me right now. And I also love books like this, again, that are more interactive and they have really cool pictures that go along with it. But this just seems really fun to read. I'm really excited to dive into this one. I talk about the word witch on the podcast every once in a while, and I just think it's a word we need to reclaim along with other words, right? It's just a label. It's just something that you can resonate with or you cannot. But I love a good witchy book, so I'm excited to read this. I just opened it to a random page and it says befriend a tree. So totally my vibe. I'm excited to dive into this one as well. So I would love to know what you are reading this winter. Share any of the books that you are reading or that you recommend in the comments below, or if you've checked out any of these books before, what you thought of them, or just share anything on these topics in the comments below. I love connecting with you all and hearing from you all. If you want more videos like this, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos like this. I post yoga flows, meditations, my podcast, and lots of different videos like this where we talk about what it means to live an aligning, fulfilling, and present life. I'm sending so much love and gratitude and high vibes to every single one of you, and I will see you in the next video.